Oh God, I feel a little better. I feel a little better, my guys always want to be in the video. They always want to be in the video. So, okay, let's give him a little camera action. Um, okay. How to understand the Scorpio man, part 2. Well, like I was saying, the Scorpio man, oh my goodness. If you don't know this man and don't get to know this man, and you're looking, like I said in my first video, from the outside looking in, you're going to think that they're all nasty, evil, untrustworthy motherfuckers that the earth can do without. That is the general impression that you will think when you hear about Scorpio, especially those who have committed heinous crimes and atrocities and dictators throughout history that were Scorpios. I mean, there seems to never be a positive that can be said about Scorpios. And, Scorpio could care either way what you think of him. Because he don't give a shit. He don't give a shit what you think or what you think about him. You could be in the room with him and he won't say a word to you. You will feel more alone with this man than you would in a crowded street. You're better off alone than to be alone with him, because he'll really make you feel alone within. Not just alone without, but within. Oh, it's horrible. And I've been with a Scorpio now for 10 years. And before that, I was married to a Scorpio woman. She died of throat cancer. And there is nothing subtle about this sign. Their presence around you is unsettling, and you have to deal with it. This is a fixed sign, water, meaning that it doesn't change. It doesn't change. And Lake Erie, Lake Ontario in upstate New York in Canada, the borders by Buffalo, Oswego. These lakes, they have been here since the last ice age, which is why they're there. A product of our last ice age. And do you know how long our ice age was, the last one? We're going back thousands of years ago. And Lake Erie is still the same. It's still the same. And you can't really go all the way underneath it either. You have professional divers. There are ships down there that are from World War I, World War II. There are, oh my goodness, you want to talk about the Bermuda Triangle. Planes disappear. Ships disappear. And it's been happening since the 1400s when Christopher Columbus came here. He noticed the anomalies of the Bermuda Triangle. It's written in his logs. The kingdoms of the Mayans, they talk about the Bermuda Triangle, about that strait and how things disappear. Fixed water, Scorpio. Today, to this very day, there are still planes and ships disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle. There are certain restrictions to fly over the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. Understand the power of Scorpio. And to this day, we have no idea where the fuck these planes are going. Are they going to another dimension? Or the ships disappear? Or they break apart? Or something hits them? And they end up in the ocean floor within the Bermuda Triangle or flying off somewhere. And nobody knows it and has been able to understand why and what's going on. In Puerto Rico, there's so many extraterrestrial site activities going on. But yet, a lot of people don't know that the biggest radio telescope in the world is in Puerto Rico, in the Yunque, Puerto Rico. And there's a lot of extraterrestrial lights and anomalies and reportings and sightings going on because we are doing something up there. All of that was part of the Bermuda Triangle, where they said that the continent of Atlantis used to reside, which, by the way, it is true. Atlantis did exist, and it existed during the Scorpio age. But we can do a video about that if you like. Just go to my Emilio Prudhomme Traveling Theater blog. You know, it's in my description where it says blogspot.com. Link that, and that'll take you, and then you can do a poll. I have a poll there, and see if that's something that you would like to vote on to talk about after we are done with this series. So understand that to this day, we cannot understand what's going on with the Bermuda Triangle. And then on the other side of the globe, on the same terrestrial longitude and latitude of the Earth's grid, you have the Devil's Triangle or the Dragon's Triangle, which is the Asia's version of our Bermuda Triangle, where also planes disappear. And so, you know, there's a lot of mysteries on this planet. There's a lot of mysteries on this planet alone. So understand that the Scorpio man has a lot of mysteries inside him. And there is no goddamn way he's going to talk about those mysteries to you. Number one, you ain't worthy. Number two, you're too stupid to understand. And number three, ain't nothing you can do about it or can do with it. The Scorpio man is very solitary in nature. He prefers to be alone. And if you are married to him, or you have a boyfriend that's a Scorpio, I'm gonna tell you, either your house is a hot mess because Scorpios don't like to be in a place where there's too much great calm. It unsettles them. You think you're ruffled by the emotional explosiveness of a Scorpio? Well, in equal measure, he is irritated from within, though, because nothing is expressed outward that you can detect. But from within, he's equally frustrated and going nuts at the fact that his environment is so peace and quiet and calm. Oh no, there's something wrong. Something wrong. Now I gotta stir shit up. If there ain't shit going on, make shit. That's the Scorpio motto. You know where you heard the expression, don't start none, won't be none. That doesn't work with Scorpio. With Scorpio, start something so we can do something. Oh yeah, that is the Scorpio motto. So if you are the type of person that you like peace, don't fuck with the Scorpio. Especially if he knows that that's what you like and that's what you need, he'll make sure that you never have it. Just to see what you measure. You know, and there is no real understanding on a psychological level why they act this way. Why they have a need to start shit, to stir things up. Because they're bored. They're bored. And especially with you. So they'll play with you like a little kid plays with a spider or plays with a roach and kills it eventually. Because then the kid doesn't know. He's just entertained by something moving around, so he toys with it. That's what Scorpio people do to those closest to them. If Scorpios love you and they care for you, they will treat you the worst. Understand that this is not intentional. It's a very solitary sign from within. Remember, if they give you the silent treatment, because that's what you, remember, from the outside looking in, you're going to perceive it as a silent treatment. It's not a silent treatment with Scorpio. He's just being himself. And at that moment, being alone and being quiet is the most real sense of self that you can ever experience with a Scorpio. The problem that makes people uncomfortable with Scorpio is that they are so self-contained and they're so happy and satisfied being self-contained and don't need to share themselves with you if they don't want to. That when they do a total withdrawal from the environment and go inward, it almost creates a vacuum, like a black hole, cold, free cold, and you feel that shit when you're near them. They don't mean to do that and fuck with you. It's just that that's who they are. It's Pluto. Pluto is the last planet in our solar system, and it's not even within the playing field of the ecliptic. It's down. All the planets are here. Pluto is the only planet that's downward, 17 degrees down from the ecliptic, which is why it's symbolic of Hades, the underworld. Even the planet's positions recapitulate the mythology of each and every planet, and Pluto is the underworld. No wonder that it is the only planet in our solar system that's way below the rest of the other planets. You have to look up to see the other planets because Pluto is all the way down, 17 degrees. Look at a map, you'll see it. Amazing, amazing. Which means that Pluto is isolated from the other planets, just like psychologically, Mr. Scorpio is isolated emotionally from everybody else. And he don't mind that shit. He don't mind it. That's who he is. We are just people who don't experience that type of intense withdrawal. It's not comfortable. But then again, when he brings that shit out, oh my God, like the forest fires or the fires of Los Angeles that keep burning for days and days, and when it's dry, that's Scorpio intensity coming out. Or when the planets are colliding and breaking up into space. There's a supernova. All that is Scorpio, just destruction. Or it could be something really subtle. Like the tail of the turtle and the scorpion, where the scorpion tells the turtle, take me to the other side. But the turtle tells the scorpion, no, because if I put you on my back and take you to the other side, you're going to sting me. And the scorpion goes, no, I'm not going to sting you. We'll both die. So the turtle lets the scorpion get on top of him, and then he takes him across the pond. But in the middle of the pond, the scorpion strikes the turtle. In the middle of the pond. And the turtle tells the scorpion, why did you sting me? I thought you said you wasn't going to sting me. Do you know what the scorpion says, if you remember the fable? I'm a Scorpio. It's my nature. And both the scorpion and the turtle drowned and died. Again, the symbol of Scorpio, death. The Scorpio didn't mind dying. It didn't mind dying because that's part of its nature, to destroy and create. That principle is seen in that scorpion. That's why the etymologists call this little animal scorpion, because it symbolizes power and life and death to that little neurotoxin it carries in its tail. Very little. Yet if it stings you, you're going to die from the sting of a scorpion. And he's this small. Just to show you that something big, we're like Goliath, a monolith compared to the scorpion, but it can take us down. So too can a Scorpio take you down. Don't fight with this man. Have nothing to do with this man. Tell you. Because your own life could be in danger. With these people have been given the divine right to kill. Like Aries, the god of war. So their intensity, something else. They're dangerous. But they're more dangerous to themselves than anybody else, if the truth be known. But they like existing in that high environment of intensity and emotional flux. Yeah. So then you have to ask yourself, why would I attract a Scorpio? Why would I attract a Scorpio? If you ladies and a few gents have a Scorpio man in your life, who attracted who? Most likely, he did. Listen, the women that conquered me were always Scorpios. I never went to them. I couldn't recognize them. They would always come to me. The Scorpio women, they like to hunt for their man. Like Miss Aries, to a certain degree. Well, it had to have been that way for her to come to you. That means that the universe sent her to you, or send him to you. If you're a woman and you attract a Scorpio man. So what does that mean? Because you also have to understand and take into consideration the psychological reason why you are in a relationship with this kind of person. Really, all the signs have their reasons. But I have to discuss this particular reason with Scorpio, because it seems that Scorpio brings nothing. If you're looking again from the outside in, it seems like they are bringing you misery. But that very well may be what they're there for. Why? Because you deserve it? You did something wrong? Is the universe punishing you? No. The contrary. If you attract a Scorpio into your life, you know what that means, ladies, few gents? It means that there is something stagnant going on in your life. And that Scorpio man or woman is there to break it apart. And God forbid that you have gotten comfortable in your rut, in your routine, or in being stuck. Because then getting out of that will be that much more painful for you, much more difficult, and much more rough experience. You leave out of it with a couple of scars if you don't welcome change. And Scorpio represents change. So when you meet a Scorpio and you begin to date a Scorpio, know that change is already here and there is no going back. Once a Scorpio is done with you, or you're done with the Scorpio, you're never the same again. You're not the same person. There is a fundamental change that has gone on within you or within your environment. Not the Scorpion. The Scorpion remains the Scorpion, and he'll go on to the next relationship and create a change in that relationship and then keep moving and keep going. He's like a generator that explodes and burns everything out. And then he leaves and leaves you to pick up the pieces. But understand that that's just part of the mechanism. That's part of the mechanism. So the universe sent you this person because you yourself could not effectuate the change that you needed to create in your life. So somebody had to do it for you. And this man is the Scorpio man. He's like the executioner, along with Aries. And of course, you're never going to resist him because he's so handsome, he's so beautiful, he's so mysterious, and he can rock your world in the bedroom because that's what they're good for, along with Pisces, the sex, and Cancer too, the water signs, But his sex will also be regenerative. Your sexuality and your way of having sex with men or with women will change also when you go to bed with this man. So change occurs on every level of the spectrum. And if you are a person who is not ready for change or doesn't like change, you are going to have a tough time with a Scorpio. It'll be hell on earth. Because the Scorpion way will never change. It's fixed water. Like the Bermuda Triangle. Their planes are still disappearing. So we don't do many flights in that part of that quadrature of the Atlantic Ocean. So understand that there is no winning with a Scorpio man. You either have to get out, jump ship. The sharks may get you, But maybe it's better that you drown or get eaten alive than to deal with the wrath of a Scorpio. Now, again, intentional or unintentional, because the universe is always in control. The universe is always in charge. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to continue to talk about the Scorpio man. You know, I always do 10 minutes scripted and 10 minutes unscripted. Okay, now the Scorpio man represents, or the Scorpio sign represents emotional excess. Emotional excess. So, and fierce intensity and passion. So already when you meet this man, you're going to encounter emotional excess. Although it's not going to be shown to you openly. The fact that he has withdrawn, or he's so withdrawn, is an emotional excess, but going inward. Can you handle it when it comes out? So that's why they keep it in. And they are completely intense. Let me tell you, so you understand, because with Mr. Scorpio, it has to be bullet points here. Okay? He is demanding, domineering, and abusive. Whether he means to be or not. Scorpio is a sign of crisis and forced change. Not change willingly, forced. Forced. The universe is doing this to you. Change, motherfucker, or I'm gonna make you change. That's the universe. And they send that to you symbolically to Scorpio, which would force change. Life is serious and short to this man. He strives, just like a mushroom strives on shit, and it grows from shit and mushroom. So it's Scorpio. He strives on conflict and adversity. So the more conflict there is, and the more adversity there is around him, the more he's in living. He becomes alive. He becomes insulated. He's like a vampire. And in fact, some of the most effective vampires are Scorpios, both materially and in the spirit world, in the demonic realms. Right? So Mr. Scorpio can be very parasitic. He pushes people's limits to the breaking point where you would literally want to kill this man and may actually do it by accident. But then again, they don't care about that because they welcome death. The question becomes, would you welcome it? So he will put you through changes, baby. Okay? And he seems cool, calm, controlled. And he may even appear boring. And that's when you gotta be fucking careful. That's when you gotta be fucking careful. Okay? Okay. He will claim to seem to be lacking in passion or interest. He's gonna appear that way initially. So you're completely caught off guard. Because nothing is emotive. L is in. But that is all a bluff. It's all a bluff. Okay? A facade, if I will. Okay? Because he is a firecracker. A firecracker. A handbag full of explosives for you if you provoke him. And also for you if he happens to look your way. So either way, you don't win. He will appear sweet, gentle, kind, and will be rather quiet. That guy that sits in the corner of a room while everyone is having a good time and laughing and is quiet, that's a Scorpio. That's a Scorpio. Okay? And he is watching everything. Maybe even too quiet. See, he might be just too quiet. Forget that he's even there. Psychologically speaking, a Scorpio man is like a stove or an open campfire, where if you touch and you get burned, you know not to go back there again. But he's so sweet and loving that you will go right back and burn yourself again. Because he will never stop being that hot stove that you touch or that campfire. His biggest weapon is deception, though. He will let you think that he's not what you think he is. That he's not what he appears to be. But in actuality, he is. He is very much that. So then what do you do? What do you do? You have to go along with the ride. And we are done with Scorpio. I think we're gonna have to do a part 3.